Bon, je vous fais un peu l'économie de tout ce qui est de la présentation de l'ANPE, puisque vous allez trouver
Presentation of ANP because you find it in the documents. So my presentation will, I'll spare you the presentation of ANP, but secondly, we'll go to the experiences of ANP on promoting professional migration at the national level, then the management of professional migration, the experience of ANP, then thirdly, we'll discuss the difficulties in the management of professional migration, propose solutions, and a conclusion. So talking about the experience of ANP on management of professional migration at the national level, Mali has adopted in 2014 the National Migration Policy. Migration is really a cause of concern, and it has caused heated debates from 1974 till today, and especially since 1991, where there was a lot of talk on migration. That is in 2014 that we drafted a national migration policy. The global objective of this policy is to better manage migration so that it should contribute to the reduction of poverty and lead to sustainable development of the country. This is what is defined in the document. And in this migration policy, we have 7 thrusts. In the implementation of these thrusts, ANP is involved at the level of thrust number 3. And should I specify that in elaborating the policy we were involved from beginning to end. To face the management of migration, the state set up a number of measures, or organizational or institutional measures, and many strategies were defined. The creation of ministries for Malians living abroad, the creation of specific services in charge of Malians abroad. For example, the General Delegation of Malians living abroad. Malians abroad who have organized themselves into the High Council of Malians living abroad and the Superior Council of Malians of the diaspora. Then there was the creation of CIGEM at the level of the state, and this is an experience with the European Union to harmonize the strategies of migration. This center was dedicated to collecting and spreading information as well as pooling strategies to manage the migratory phenomenon across the country. It is on European Union funding. Then the implementation of co-development with France to manage and valorize the local development initiatives to keep candidates from migrating. It was developed in some regions in Mali. At the national level, there is a creation by France of a national representation of OFI in Mali. OFI, I can say, is the updated version of what is called a NAM, because there was the Association of Franco-Malians before OFI. So that is even what caused OFI to create a representation in Mali. Then there is a PGMP we talked about yesterday. It's a sub-regional experience financed by the EU. Then there is TOCTEN. It is a strategy for the Malian state to valorize technological know-how of Malian migrants that have to contribute to the development of the country. And I want to tell you that this experience was born from the forum of the diaspora held in Bamako. During this forum, this project was born, and it's accompanied by partners including the World Bank, the European Union. The situation of migration in Mali. And let me tell you that the majority of Malian migrants migrate within Africa. You can see the statistics. We have 3,631,835 who migrate to Africa. That's 96.5%. And the minority in Europe, America, and Asia. But their contribution to development of the country, over 538 billion that these migrants bring to the country since 2017. That's why our president always says that what migrants bring to the country, official development assistance does not bring. So their destination in Africa is Cote d'Ivoire, up to the 3 million. I think 60% are in Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Ghana, Gabon, the two Congos, Angola, Morocco, Libya, Algeria, Tunisia, and so on and so forth. In Europe, there are about 120 in France, Spain, Germany, Italy. In America, the United States, and Canada. And in Asia, they're in Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, China, Indonesia, India, and so on. The experience of managing professional migration by ANP. Because the case of road drivers towards Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates, that's an experience, an old experience that dates back to 2008, 2007. We recruit road drivers and send to Saudi Arabia upon their request. The case of computer technicians and road drivers towards Egypt, that's 2012-2013. The case of agricultural workers to Spain, that one too is recent. The case, this one is within the framework of circular migration. 50 workers were recruited and sent to Spain. Generally, they just go to harvest in farms, and once they are finished harvesting, they return to the country. And today, sometimes NP carries out monitoring, so much so that the companies contact the farmers themselves. The case of workers in construction towards Algeria, we are doing this with a Malian company because there are workers in public construction that Algerians use. The case of Malian migrants who return voluntarily from France with OFIL. This is a well-seated process today, such that OFIL has extended this experience to other African countries, especially West and Central African countries. Atelier École de Caille is a fruit of migration. These are Malian migrants who created this Atelier École de Caille with support from Énergie de France. Énergie de France needed qualified workers in electricity, especially solar energy. So they incited our migrants to organize themselves in an association and created this school. And since 1999, there's a management committee, but since 2012, so ANP has been the one managing the school. So this helps the youth, it helps train the youth so that they should not go. This is the area where we find most migrants. Now the role of ANP in all these cases is to launch invitations to tender after gathering the needs of companies, sending invitations, calls for tender. Then we prepare travel documents, contracts, and other useful documents. Then we proceed to the installation and follow-up of migrants with other actors like the GGME, INPS, and the involvement of the Ministry of Public Health, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Some difficulties we face in the management of professional migration is the reliability or the mastery or the non-mastery of data. So the system that was created today faces functional difficulties because European funding having ended. We are trying to see how the state can take over the control of this center. So the website and the software that are there give information that don't reflect the reality on the ground. Then the governance of the phenomenon of professional migration. We have two ministries, the Ministry of Malians Abroad and the Ministry of Employment, and amongst them is the ANP, and institutionally ANP is under the supervision of the Ministry of Labor, but the ministry in charge of Malians Abroad uses ANPE in its practices. So such that ANPE, the two ministries and other actors find it difficult to manage and govern. Another difficulty is the non-signature by Mali of Convention 97 on the work of migrants, and ANPE has done all it could. We have advocated and carried out lots of advocacy with ministries, MPs, and I hope that by this year, the end of this year, this convention will be signed, including its annexes. There are many social, political, economic stakes related to this, and especially external funding. These are difficulties. The issue of unemployment is generalized. When there is an offer, everyone wants to apply for it, and there is a serious influence. So management causes a lot of trouble, especially when politicians interfere. Then funding of the national employment policy, whose cost is estimated at 120 billion, and the state has not finished funding this, and the projects that have to be elaborated for the implementation of the national migration policy are being prepared. So, suggestions. It's a synergy of action of all stakeholders involved in the migration chain. They should focus on financing and capacity building of migrants, because migrants have organized themselves, either those who left or those who were repatriated or those who were sent back home. They have organized themselves not only by zone but by country. There are migrants who return from Libya, migrants who return from Morocco, migrants who return from France, and migrants who have even come back from Central Africa. There's a harmonization of regulatory and legal frameworks on professional migration, especially the signing of Convention 97, such that instruments will be prepared in compliance with this convention. The creation of an observatory on professional migration. These are the proposals we have transmitted to our supervisory ministry, and we are trying to push that these proposals should be translated into concrete actions. So to conclude, ANPA continues to prove its capacity and the global vision that is made of professional migration, a convergence of activities. When there is an offer in Algeria, for example, we need a consultation framework between various stakeholders so that everyone defines his role and performs the duty assigned to him. Then we think that migration, irregular migration, and the related vulnerability will be made into proposals. If this synergy of action is developed, it can lead to proportions to relaunch a migration policy that will lead to creation of jobs and development of our countries. And we think that our determination must be total, all PSAs, to promote legal professional migration by inviting all stakeholders to a dynamic partnership around this phenomenon. So our motto is PSAs at the service of legal professional migration to valorize the achievements of experiences. We are sharing this with Canadians such that the top 10 should be part of this valorization of all the grounds gained. Thank you for your kind attention.